have a Fox News alert. This just in, the Georgia Court of Appeals has granted the defense's application for an appeal after, you remember back, let's go back to Georgia. That's Fani Willis and Nathan Wade. Remember them? Okay. And she has said that they did absolutely nothing wrong. Trump's side is saying, we want an appeal. And the Judge McAfee had ruled that the special prosecutor, Nathan Wade, resigned from the Trump election interference case in Georgia. Originally, the judge had given the Fulton County DA's office a choice between having Willis remove herself or having Wade resign. And obviously, Willis didn't remove herself from the case. So that means going forward, the court is going to hear defense arguments on why they think Fani Willis should have been removed from the case. So there's no date on this yet, and this news about this willingness to grant Trump's Fani Willis appeal is just coming into us.
So one more thing to add here. Stephen Sadow just tweeted this. He's a Trump lawyer. On X, he writes, the Georgia Court of Appeals has granted President Trump's application for appeal from the trial court's order refusing to disqualify Fulton County DA Fani Willis. So it would seem that he's injecting a little bit of optimism into that X.
Yes.
All right, my friends, thanks for joining me. J.R. Dukes at your service. I want to welcome all of my free-minded friends. If you're new to the channel, hey, welcome. Be sure to hit the thumbs up button, like, share, subscribe. Send this to each and every one of your indoctrinated friends and or family members, because on this channel, we are all about the truth and helping you think. When you understand better, you can live better. And that's what this channel is all about. What a fantastic day today for former President Donald Trump. If you haven't heard already, Fani Willis, the gift that keeps on giving, you know who she is. We've been talking a lot about her. She is the corrupt DA in Fulton County, Georgia. She unfortunately brought this bogus RICO case against former President Donald Trump and other individuals allegedly pertaining to the 2020 so-called election interference, which we all know is nothing but a scam. And to be perfectly blunt with you, it's all about political interference, but not pertaining to President Donald Trump. It's against President Donald Trump. Well, as I've been predicting on this channel, today, the Court of Appeals, the Georgia Court of Appeals, to be specific, has taken up the appeal from Judge Scott McAfee. Remember, he said that her paramour, Mr. Prosecutor, aka Nathan Wade, had to step down, or Fani Willis and her entire office would be removed from the case. I don't know what this judge was thinking. He was probably, obviously, trying to do a King Solomon type of verdict and split the baby. But there's no way to split this, folks. Let's be perfectly honest. Let's be direct about it. Fani Willis is a criminal. Nathan Wade is a criminal. These people are crooked. Crooked, I tell you. Fulton County has always been a crooked county. Remember, we talked about this also. If it wouldn't have been for former President JFK, John F. Kennedy, we would never have heard about Martin Luther King Jr. in all practicality, because it was Fulton County back in the 60s that imprisoned him and, frankly, would never have let him out had it not been for former President JFK. Well, the tradition in Fulton County with their elected judges, their scandalous DA and her boyfriend that she's paid up to $1 million of your money, my money. I mean, come on. And this judge thought, oh, hey, we can split the baby. We just go ahead and take her boyfriend off, but Fani Willis can stay on the case. Absolutely outrageous. And as I predicted, thank God the Georgia Court of Appeals has agreed to take up this case, because this is the kind of case that a Court of Appeals should take up. This is what they are there for. There is no law in Georgia that says if this happens, then you shall take a prosecutor, a DA off of the case. And correctly so, when there is a discrepancy in the law or the law is unclear, then this is what they're supposed to do. And fortunately, they are doing this. Now, here's the great news for former President Donald Trump. This RICO case is over. I said that before, and I'm going to restate it again. Under no circumstances can this case possibly make it to trial before the November 2024 presidential election. Remember, their game in cahoots with President Joe Biden and the Democrats, these woke whacks, these woke radicals, their entire game, folks, their entire game is to try to tag former President Donald Trump with some type of felony so that in their minds that people would not vote for him because he's a felonious felon. Well, guess what? This is not going to happen, at least in Georgia, because once President Trump is in office, he can pretty well just pardon himself and anyone else that he chooses to do so. And that just pertains to this particular Georgia so-called RICO case brought by DA Fani Willis. Additionally, the judge in the Southern District of Florida pertaining to that documents case, another crazy case. And of course, our favorite person, prosecutor Jack Smith, who's a complete loser, has lost all kinds of cases. He lost against the governor of Virginia and his wife that he went after. It was either Virginia or West Virginia. He went after them and he lost, and he was overturned even in the Supreme Court way back when. So this guy has a track record of losing, and he's on track to lose again. Under Judge Cannon, she wisely put this case off. And the D.C. judge, she also said, hey, we're going to wait till we see what the U.S. Supreme Court does. And of course, you probably already know my prediction is that former President Donald Trump is definitely going to have some type of immunity. If it's not total immunity, folks, it really doesn't matter, because as long as he has some kind of immunity, that's all that matters. Even if it's like police officers and he has what's called qualified immunity, the good news is it will go back to the lower courts and be litigated. And remember, on this channel, we're all about get an attorney at stall, not an attorney at law, an attorney at stall. When you are in a civil case, a criminal case, you want to stall this case as long and as much as possible. Fortunately, that's what former President Donald Trump and his team are doing. The bottom line is this: the only case that is going to be a trial for former President Donald Trump is the bogus case going on in New York City under Judge Merchant and his daughter, who has made like $93 million for the Democrat. She's just not a Democrat, folks. She's a Democratic operative. She has clients that include President Joe Biden, Vice President Kamala Harris, and of course, Adam Schiff. And we know what former President Donald Trump says about Adam Schiff, if you know what I'm talking about. This guy is another political hack. His daughter's a political hack. The judge is a political hack. He refuses to do what the law requires, which is to remove himself off the case. It's very simple. He is supposed to be above all of this. There should never, never be a political persecution, in my estimation, in the United States of America. Our Constitution does not allow this. We look like a third world country. What in the world is going on around here? Let's hope that this New York jury will do the right thing and acquit former President Trump of these so-called record violations. What a crazy case. But we'll have to see what happens. So far, that is the only political jeopardy former President Donald Trump faces at this particular point, and we'll just have to see where it goes from here. But the good news is these other cases are out of here. Remember, in New York, they don't really care that it's going to be obviously overturned on appeal, talking about the New York City case. All they want to do is basically tar and feather former President Donald Trump and run him out of town. They want him labeled a felon so that they can try to run on that and hopefully shift the election. Well, guess what, folks? It's not going to happen. Donald Trump might be gagged. I'm not gagged, and I'm going to tell you the truth, whether the Dems and these woke individuals like it or not. So that's why you need to subscribe to my channel. I always appreciate you joining me, folks. I always say keep that mind free, never give up. And until next time, I am J.R. Dukes.